Hello, I'm Eve.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And this is episode 10 of our podcast.
Is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Episode 10. You weren't here for episode 9. It's just me we're talking about pictures of my cat for a little while. Don't worry about it.
Your cat?
Yeah, it's a Doctor Who themed episode, I assure you. For our Doctor Who channel.
I did not authorise this.
Doesn't matter.
I suppose
I'm the one with the laptop.
You do the one with the laptop, you're the one with the microphone, you do all the editing. Do you know what? Forget it. This is
episode 10. Episode 9 is a cat special.
I don't even need to be here.
It's just me talking about the cat lady from Doctor Who and showing you pictures of my kitten.
Which cat lady?
Wow,
you didn't know there was more than one cat
There are
episode.
multiple cat ladies, but I'm specifically interested in the one from New Earth that says, "Who needs arms when you have claws?" And she gets her claws out, and it turns out the cat nuns are the baddies. We're not here to talk about the cats.
She comes back.
That's retreading old ground, and you're sick of hearing about that from the last episode.
I'm glad I want to hear for that one.
Yeah, it would have really interested you. Matt Berry was there.
Was he?
Yes, absolutely.
I do like Matt Berry.
Again, like Paul McGann, terrible guest. He didn't speak once.
Did he not?
No, horribly rude. Ate everything in the fridge. Insulted my guinea pigs.
Did deserve to be insulted.
He just took his trousers off. It was awful. Right in front of my bread.
It sounds like Matt Berry. He doesn't care about your bread or anyone's.
Today's Doctor Who episode, we're going to talk about
cats.
Our favourites. Cats. No, not cats. Our favourite doctors. And our least favourite doctor.
Okay.
So Dan's going to talk about his favourite doctor. I'm going to talk about my favourite doctor. Dan's going to talk about his least favourite doctor. I'm going to talk about my least favourite doctor. Are you getting the picture?
Are you getting it? It's easy.
It's pretty straightforward.
Even you could understand. You know who you are.
Yes.
You know who you are. You made a powerful enemy. But I know you still listen, so
you know
thanks.
who you are.
You son of a bitch. Anyway, enough about my dad. Eve,
yeah.
I'd like to take what you said, but I'd like to do a little switcheroo if that's all right.
You're going to rule my switch?
Slinky.
What, is this actually episode 11?
No, I'd like to talk about my least favourite Doctor first. I feel it would be very controversial.
I see. Interesting. You want to start with the least favourite Doctor?
I want to end on a high.
I mean, sure, why not? You know, if we made an episode that said worst Doctor and best Doctor, the one that says worst just statistically would perform better.
I know this.
Which is why you're meant to cock tease it till right at the end.
Well, I'll go worst.
But let's start with your bad.
I'll go worst to best, and then you go
worst
best to worst.
Okay, yes, great
and that
idea.
way we'll end on you saying how much you hate X Doctor, and
if you think that works, that's what we'll say we're going to do, and then we'll not end up doing it. Dan, who is the worst...
Can you not just agree with me for once?
No, never. Who is, in your opinion, Dan... Actually, no, don't phrase anything in this episode like an opinion. Phrase it as absolute fact.
Fact. Objective
Dan, who
fact.
Objectively, scientifically proven is the worst Doctor, and you can include acting, you can include performance, writing. It's not necessarily about the person. It might just be how they were portrayed in that season.
I want to preface this as well by saying, despite the hashtag I'm trying to get off the ground, which is 26 seasons in a movie, I'm a fan of both classic and New Who. I like Doctor Who.
Yes.
Full stop. There's no preference. It's just I love all of it. Having said that, my least favourite Doctor is David Tennant as the 10th Doctor.
Okay.
I know he's everyone's favourite. I know there's someone out there already who's just automatically. So many people have just turned the podcast off and gone, I'm never listening to him again because that long-haired, flappy idiot Dan with his stupid face and his big nose don't know what he's talking about, but objectively, David Tennant is the worst.
Objective.
Yeah, factually, David Tennant is the worst Doctor Who. The fact that they've got him in again, it's a joke.
Why is a David Tennant, in your humble fact, I nearly said opinion, in your humble fact, in objective reality, in our timeline, in all of time and space, why is David Tennant objectively the worst Doctor?
It's just shit. No.
Thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to like
share,
and
and subscribe. Come back next week.
That is controversial because a lot of people like the David Tenant.
He is the favourite Doctor, and I don't understand why.
Okay, but you got to bear this in mind. If we're doing a tier list here, if we're going, this is our S rank Doctor, you're putting David Tennant at the bottom, which means it's not just that you feel David Tennant is your least favourite performance of the Doctor, but you're also saying that all other performances of the Doctor were better.
Yes.
Excuse the bang there, I'm just taking the away cake from the cat. The cat is not allowed cake. To continue with my point, you're saying that every other iteration of the Doctor is
better, superior.
Yes. Do you really feel that way?
Yes.
Like, how about first, you tell me what you dislike about David Tennant's interpretation, but then I'm also going to put you on the spot by asking you why other Doctors were better. Why Whittaker, for example, was a better Doctor. A lot of people don't like that interpretation.
Right, my dislike of David Tennant, like Sheldon's speeding defence in the Big Bang Theory, sits on a three-legged stool. Right?
Okay.
First and foremost, I took one look at David Tennant's costume and I was just like, I hope that fucking changes.
Okay.
Because it's just a fucking suit.
A brown stripy suit.
It's either brown or it's blue. I don't like it. It's boring. He looks like a fucking banker. When I say Doctor Who,
he does look like a banker, doesn't he?
He just looks like a basic fucking bloke. He looks like in the initial promo shots with him and Billy Piper. He looks like he's about to turn around to Billy Piper and say, "I've got to go because."
Don't mind. We're taking a break here to throw a spoon at the cat because the cat is bothering the guinea pig. So you're about to hear a spoon hit the ground next to a cat.
Well, you scared the guinea pigs.
I scared the guinea pigs, but not the cat. You know what? Whatever, that's fine. The guinea pigs are idiots. They will wander into the cat's maw.
I'm just going to move its box.
Yes, the cat has a box which sits next to the guinea pig cage. And that box, which the cat's always playing in, suspiciously just moves closer to the guinea pig cage.
Put the box up here now.
No, the box. Put the box down. This is parenting the 2 to 3 month old cat with Dan and Eve.
Where was I? David Tennant looks like a banker.
David Tennant, yeah, I guess he looks like a banker. And thinking about it, I can't come at you with a better Doctor costume, a worse Doctor costume than that. It is. Now when I think about it, while it's not just a plain black suit, you know, your Barclays bank, you go into a meeting with the directors, they're all going to look at you funny because it's brown and stripy or whatever. But it is just a plain suit. There's nothing quirky, but you know.
The only good thing about his costume is the big long coat, but he takes it off half the time.
He does. You don't like that variety? Do you not think the other Doctor's clothes start to smell after all those adventures wearing the same outfit?
The only Doctor that doesn't change is the 5th Doctor. All the other Doctors have some form of variation. David Tennant's has variation, sure, fine, but it's still a variation on a fucking suit.
How about New Tennant? That is now, it's like he's moved to a different bank.
I need to see it
You need to see it in action, okay. But like functionally speaking, it looks like he now works at a different bank. It's a dark blue instead of a typically brown.
It looks like he's been fucking promoted to junior assistant. Or something like that. And when I see a Doctor's outfit, I want to be like, oh, that's interesting, and my brain will think, yeah, I'd look at him on the street and I'd look again and be like, oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
Whereas David Tennant, I won't be able to pick him out of the fucking crowd.
Well, it's very easy to pick and nitpick, isn't it?
It is.
Shit. But what would you do different? How would you have David Tennant, that character? How would you have designed their costume?
I would have kept the coat. I would have made the suit and the shirt black, and I'd have made the tie red. There we go. Sure, it's still a boring suit, but at least it's, you know.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
There's a bit of mystery there. Or whatever.
Fair enough. Well, you said that this was a 3-legged stool.
Yeah.
And you've said all
cats
kinds of
just-
mean things about the costume designer who watches this show.
Yeah.
And I'm going to generate some lovely alternate costumes for David Tennant.
Please do.
Using the AI, which in the 3 months AI images have been a thing, have gotten incredible.
Yeah, they have.
You may notice last week my standout favourite was Doctor Who's surfing. And my God, that was some high definition stuff.
That was wonderful.
That was wonderful.
Oh, that was the cat episode. I still haven't seen that yet.
The episode before, the last
the
episode
Cybermen
with
episode.
you. Because those are the ones that are important, Dan. Time we spend together.
Oh.
But this is going to go up as episode 10. Don't you touch me. Okay.
So the second part of my school.
Yep. What's the other leg of your stool?
Right.
Bearing in mind, 3 legs is enough for a stool to be stable, providing they're orientated correctly.
Yeah. These are perfectly orientated. The third piece of my
Second. 2, 1.
I'm
1,
skipping one
2
ahead.
comes
We're
after
gonna-
1.
we're gonna come
You
back
know,
to-
let's go to 3, and then let's go back
Let's
to,
go back to
like
2.
it matters. Okay, number 3.
Number 3.
In a list of reasons Dan hates your favourite Doctor.
I'm more than
I
likely.
don't know why I pointed at the microphone. It can't see me, but it knows.
It's more than likely the
You're
person...
listening to Judi Dench. You know.
Look, there's a 50% chance that the person listening to this is David Tennant as their favourite Doctor. And he either is their favourite or he isn't. That's
50%,
50-50.
Yes, that's my favourite kind of math.
Yeah,
Technically correct.
No, it is correct.
It's the best kind of correct.
So the third part of my argument, we'll come back to number 2.
We'll do number 2 after number 3. Go ahead.
Is the writing.
Fuck numbers.
Right.
Go ahead. The
Russell
writing.
T Davis did a write on David Tennant. Russell T Davis is a good writer, but for 4 bastard fucking seasons...
We have negative viewers now, but go on.
For 4 bastard seasons, all David Tennant's Doctor would go over, oh, Rose, oh, Billy Piper, oh. And it's just like, God, fuck off. She wasn't that good. She was alright, and it just made his Doctor just seem like a fucking idiot.
How so? Give me examples, Dan.
Well, he just met Martha, right, who was a fucking great companion, and all he could do was, oh, but you're not as good as Rose. And it's just like, piss off.
Did he ever say that? Did he ever say that?
He didn't use those fucking
Are
words.
you projecting?
Don't drag me down into your psychopathic little world of technicalities and nitpicking. No, he didn't use those exact words.
Look, Dan, the moon is too big in Bruce Almighty, alright? It's too big.
That was a reference to...
Don't get me started again.
It's a Wonderful Life, which I watched half of this evening with...
The moon is... the tidal forces would be incredible. We'd all...
Shut up!
The moon
Shut
is
up
not
about the
an egg.
fucking moon!
The moon is not an egg.
Nobody cares about the fucking moon! No.
Okay.
It was just...
We'll do an episode on the moon at a later time.
3 seasons, 3 or 4 seasons of David Tennant going, I wish Rose was here. Oh, and then when he finally got her, he fucking gave her. It was just boring. It just made his Doctor just seem like a fucking idiot.
I feel like you're...
Chicken tonight.
I feel like chicken tonight. Our sponsor is Dolmio. I feel that's a badly phrased argument. You've not really addressed anything. You've kind of just put funny voices on. Can you give more substance to? It sounds like your issue there is you didn't like the companion Doctor dynamic with David Tennant and their companions.
I didn't, but we're talking about the Doctor, and I didn't like the 10th Doctor being hung up on Billy Piper or Rose Tyler.
What?
Sorry. Yeah, but like, go back and watch his seasons. The amount of time she gets mentioned, and he's like, I wish Rose was here. Bollocks, boring. Move on. You've got other cooler names.
Just move on.
Yeah.
You think that because there's a...
So it's not like she died. She went to a parallel universe.
She kind of did.
No, she didn't. She didn't kind of die. She got sucked into a parallel universe where her dad was alive and her mum was there.
Given a David Tennant copy.
And she got given her own version of David Tennant at the
Okay.
end. Like, bitch, what more do you want?
Do you not
what more do you
feel
want?
like over the course of the season a sort of romance, a sort of love affair was building, and maybe losing Billy Piper was kind of a very sad and character building moment. So it'd be weird if they just never addressed her again after that.
I don't mind it being addressed, but it took fucking 4 years. And not only that, I wouldn't mind a romance between the Doctor and companion, But Billy Piper's character, Rose Tyler, was so fucking insufferable in season 2. I couldn't wait to see the fucking back of her.
Okay. Okay.
Right, let's go back to number 2.
No. Dan hates Billy Piper. Right.
I don't hate Billy Piper. I ain't got nothing against Billy Piper.
Number 2.
No.
Number 2.
Fuck you. I'm not letting you set me up to be some kind of idiot. Right? In season 2, Rose Tyler was such an insufferable twat. I couldn't wait to see the back of her because she was just this jealous, bitchy cow, basically.
Wow, really?
Yeah. In season 2. In season 1 with Chris Eccleston, she was great. But as soon as David Tennant came on with his fucking elf-like face and his shitty little suit, anytime another woman so much as looked at David Tennant, she was like, oh, she's a fucking idiot. Oh, she's an idiot. She's a moron. I don't like her.
We're not here to criticise Billy Piper.
Yeah, but it affected David Tennant.
So now we are talking about people who are the Doctor.
It affected the Doctor and it annoyed me.
Okay.
The whole relationship, the whole thing just annoyed the shit out of me.
Fair enough.
And when I watch Doctor Who, I'm tuning in to see time travel, aliens, explosions. You know, stuff we all like Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah, spinning Christmas trees.
And spinning Christmas trees. Why is ours out of the KG?
We're fine until Christmas Day. I plan on just keeping a brick handy on Christmas Day. So that if our Christmas tree comes alive, I'm just going to hammer it.
Or a shredder.
Just imagine all the blood when we beat up this tree.
When we beat the living piss.
Anyway, are you ready to move on to the number that's
move back to number 2.
The number after number 3, which is number 2.
The performance.
The third leg. The
second leg.
The performance, okay.
David Tennant, I'm going to preface this by saying David Tennant, in my opinion, is a wonderful actor. He's wonderful in everything he does. And everything, every performance he gives, I believe it's well thought out and brilliant and wonderful, you know. But then he was in Doctor Who, and it was a lot of stupid. It was like a smart price fucking Jim Carrey.
A smart price Jim Carrey. Oh my word!
Yeah, it was just a lot of bug eyes and silly faces. And I don't mind bad acting in Doctor Who. Sylvester McCoy is one of my favourites, and he's not a classically trained actor. Right?
Okay.
But he gives 100% every time.
Okay.
David Tennant can do better.
Right.
That's what annoys me. He's doing a similar performance to Sylvester McCoy, not a classically trained actor. But he can do better. He can be subtle and wonderful and but he's just pulling faces and doing one emotion at a time. Like when he's angry, it's just like, I'm yelling now, and I'm just like, oh.
Wow, you're really laying it all out on the table today. Your beef.
Honestly,
I might have to cancel his guest appearance in the next episode. This is brutal.
I can't wait. I've got a lot to say to the man.
No, this is going to be cancelled. There's no way he's going to go ahead with it.
He's
a busy man.
I've got nothing against David Tennant.
You did me a favour. I gave him a lot of drugs. Not the kind you'd expect. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm giving him some much needed criticism because I don't think he's had any. Literally, I don't think anyone who's ever. This is cathartic.
No one has ever criticised David Tennant ever.
This is cathartic to me. I'm doing him a favour.
I'm gonna have to tell David Tennant when he listens to this.
David, I hope you
skip to a certain point.
David, I hope you're listening because you need to hear this.
No, don't be so mean.
Especially if you're going to be Doctor Who again. No, genuinely, right? This is cathartic to me because I'm on Reddit. I'm on all the things. And whenever anyone says anything bad about David Tennant, it's like, oh, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, oh, really? You only started watching the show in 2006, son. You don't even know what the wilderness years are. So, yeah.
16 long years we waited, and I get this.
Basically, yeah. I got Christopher Eccleston, and he quat. And then, and Christopher Eccleston...
because of your criticism.
Christopher Eccleston feared being lynched on a lamppost by a giant multicoloured scarf when he quat. And then I got Christopher Eccleston, he was great, but he quat. And then who's next? David Tennant. Oh, I'm looking forward to him. Oh, souped shit, but oh well, whatever. It's the modern day. I need to get with the times. It's the children who are wrong.
It's the children who are wrong. Have you got it out of your system?
No, Eve! No! Do you know what? I've been waiting.
Stop. You're peeking the microphone. No one listens on headphones. No one listens. But the people that are listening...
I'm peeking myself.
Dan, do you need a break?
I need some chewing gum or a cigarette.
You've had too much coffee today.
I've had too much coffee today.
Here, take some crystal methamphetamine.
No, yeah, David Tennant was awful. Overrated, massively overrated. Massively. And it annoys me because after David Tennant was Matt Smith, who was a more doctory doctor. Because David Tennant didn't even feel like the doctor, he was just angry shouting man with a stick. Anyway, Eve, who's your favourite doctor? Or do you have more questions regarding my feelings
I need to know that you're alright.
Van. Fucking Van.
Oh, dear.
Stop liking David Tennant, people.
Right.
You're enjoying Doctor Who wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
Right, now Dan's got that out of his system, I'd like to tell you about my favourite doctor. My favourite doctor is David Tennant. And I'd like to explain why now, but objectively, why David Tennant is the best doctor. And here's how we go. And I'm not going to let Dan have a moment break from his laughing and coffee there, because I'm going to tell you that David Tennant's performance sits on a glorious three-pronged trident. The three beautiful, glorious golden prongs of David Tennant. And number one, his suit. Number two, his relationship with his companions. And number three, his performance. And I'm going to justify each of them now for you live. Well done. Well done, Perishes. He was not expecting this. He was expecting David Tennant to be my favourite doctor. He was not expecting me to basically take all three of his rationale and turn it upside down. I'm very sorry. We're going to have to... Okay, first of all, I'd like to start at the logical start number 3. Number 3. David Tennant.
I hate you so much.
First of all, okay, David Tennant, number 3, the third prong of this beautiful, glorious trident, which, if you're strong enough, can be used as a stool, but you have to be really tall too. Anyway, first of all, at number 3, his performance. In a strong contrast to Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant opens with a glorious, a loud, and an energetic contrast. In those moments where Rose is unsure and doesn't know what's happening because the Doctor seems to be a completely different man, that much is evident in proving that they are indeed a different person. And we have this outspoken, we have this eccentric, wonderful Doctor, the best Doctor objectively.
Eccentric.
And that very first episode with them in it, which was a Christmas special with a Christmas spinning tree, as me and Dan both glance at our bricks and our Christmas tree, just in case it comes alive.
Just in case.
I think we're safe for now. I've got it tangled in a mess of fairy lights.
We don't have fairy lights.
In this episode, even Jackie Tyler, my favourite companion, is like, oh, the bloody hell is this? Jackie Tyler and victim to John Barrowman. Both see this new person and they're unsure. And you know what? What I like even better about this performance is when David Tennant gets up, well, he's unsure of who he is as well. And we have this Doctor feeling the world out, trying to understand what kind of person they are now, letting the audience understand that a regeneration doesn't just mean a different actor, it means a different performance. And we get that in spades here, as he's walking straight into this alien mothership, and my goodness, a big red button. And what does that big red button do? Is a question he asks. Right before a guy who, in my memory now, looks alarmingly like the current Prime Minister, gets vaporized by these aliens.
Which one's our current one?
If you're watching this any future day, it will be a different person. But currently, I think his name is Rishi or Rishni or something.
Sunak.
Sunak, yes. The current
I am Sunak. I have come to harvest the souls of the poor.
I like this idea that Sunak is like some god or something that harvests the souls of the dead. He is a Tory.
The souls of the poor, not the souls of the dead.
Yes, that works too.
The aliens in that episode
are
one of, in a future separate thing that I'm doing by myself, are going to be mentioned as being stolen from Faction Paradox.
They're a warrior race as well, aren't they? Are they?
There was
something like that.
Scavengers.
They have their skeletons on the outsides of their faces. It's very strange.
Much like Faction Paradox. Wow. Carry on telling us about your false opinion.
I know all of our opinions are objectively correct, Dan. We agreed on this beforehand. You agreed.
Yeah, but I didn't realise you was going to say something stupid. Carry on. I'll let you talk.
Anyway, we even get a sword fight in this episode.
Yes, we do.
We get a jumping around, hopping doctor here in what I believe to be a medical robe, if I remember correctly.
No, he was just in pyjamas.
Just even better, pyjamas. This is what we need: more doctors in pyjamas. And and it was a wonderful image. It was recovering. He was figuring stuff out. It even led to a weird little spin-off thing where his hand gets cut off.
Yeah, it was like a long running.
Which is something that just hangs around in Torchwood Labs for a while.
Yeah.
Until it's needed later. That will be important later.
Do you reckon Captain Jack kept it and occasionally took it out?
I worry about what Captain Jack did with that hand.
Give himself a stranger with it?
No, it was in a jar, which was vacuum sealed, and David Tennant would have felt it.
I bet he did.
He'd have known about it. Throughout David Tennant's performance as the Doctor, throughout the seasons, he brings something which I like in a Doctor, and that is he has that energy. He reminds us that this is a show to be enjoyed.
Like Jim Carrey brought energy, but
yes,
it's like a cheaper, like a smart price,
but not too much, because Jim Carrey could be an overpowering force at times. Whereas,
so it's like a smart price, Jim Carrey, you might say.
And honestly, it's bad to compare someone to Jim Carrey because it's a very unique presence. Jim Carrey would be overpowering as the Doctor. Great for a Riddler. You know who else would make a good Riddler?
David Tennant.
Like a cheap Riddler. You could pay him less. David Tenant. Yeah, and you know what? That would work too. There's nothing wrong with comparing actors like that. But you get what we're seeing there. By saying that David Tennant is a discount Jim Carrey, you're kind of reinforcing my point in that you're proving he's someone who brings energy to the role.
He did put energy into the role, yeah.
He did, and that's what we need, because any time I've seen a Doctor with no energy, or who just wants to bash people's head with a brick, or you know, the Doctor's the main character. The show is, believe it or not, has their name in it. The show revolved the Doctor. It revolves around them, and if the character's boring, if the character's doesn't have that strong, clear identity and drive, I'm not really drive to watch it. I'm not as impressed by what's going on. But anyway, that is but one shiny piece of the trident.
All right, the next logical step is what's your first prong of the trident after going to number 3 there?
Let's talk about the number after 3, which is number 1. And that's because it's my weakest argument.
Okay.
Because I resigned myself to picking your reasons. But it works with the performance bit. Number 1.
Fuck you.
Another thing I like about David Tennant's Doctor. The suit. He looks like a banker, which is such a fun contrast to their energetic performance.
That-
Why, if the suit was energetic as well, then it would be too much. Can you imagine if it had something batshit insane on it, like a fucking leek or something, or a celery?
What the hell?
That would be stupid. We're here to watch David Tennant, not his outfit. So I will not die on that hill, but move on to the next section.
What the hell is wrong with me?
Number 2, which actually
Undermine me every time.
which actually does come after number 2.
I hate our friendship.
And that is
No, defend the suit more.
Defend the suit.
Defend the
Absolutely.
suit more.
That suit, which comes with it something you forgot to address, the sonic screwdriver.
No, don't talk about the sonic screwdriver like it's part of the outfit.
Okay. Here it is. Here is a genuine thing about the suit. And it goes with the performance thing, right?
I can see you scrabbling to get away from
No. This is actually entirely fair. There are sometimes moments when the Doctor needs to be somber. When the Doctor needs to think about shit that's gone wrong, my dude. And he can't do that with a fucking celery and a bright rainbow scarf stuck to him.
Listen, you piece of shit. Tom Baker managed
This is
it
objective.
with a giant fucking scarf. Peter Davison managed it with a piece of... Colin Baker managed it in that multicoloured fucking monstrosity. David Tennant needs to be in a fucking funeral suit at all times to appear somber.
Calm down. First of all, it's very efficient to wear what you would wear to your funeral every day. Because then people don't have to see your willy when they kick you out into your funeral gear. Right. Number 2. Picture.
The Doctor doesn't die, he regenerates, you black.
Yeah, but you have a funeral each time. It's stupid. You gotta mourn over the old Doctor who's lost.
Oh, he did plenty of that.
Yeah, lots of coughing. Okay, we'll get in the clown coffin.
Oh, God.
Okay, let me continue. Picture this. David Tennant is frowning. His hands are in his pockets like what he does. And it's raining. There's no celery.
I'm not a fucking AI generator.
No, I'm not. Yeah, it does look like I'm prompting you.
There's no celery.
There is no celery. If I type in "there is no celery" into an AI prompt, I will get fucking raining celery.
Oh my God.
There's no chance it does not go no celery.
I just rained everything but celery.
Actually, if anything, that might set AI back many years. If I add as a negative prompt, something it should ignore, if I add as a negative prompt the word celery, because it's going to go, why are we addressing celery? That's like saying, here's a biscuit, it's not poisonous. It's you look at that, you go, wait, why are you... Because having a biscuit has nothing to do with being poisoned. So the fact that I mention it's not poisonous draws attention to the fact that I've said it's not poisonous and makes you, the viewer, doubt whether or not it is poisonous.
Wait, you say that when you break me a coffee every time.
Yes, every time. So what I'm saying is, David Tennant keeps his celery in his pocket. We don't ever see it. Sometimes you might notice he ruffles around in there for his sonic screwdriver.
Is that a celery in your pocket, Dave? Or are you pleased to see me?
Sometimes he accidentally grabs a celery and he's like, no, that's a snack for later. To put on a different suit. Anyway, in summary, David Tennant's suit is a requirement of their performance and is the only way you can tell them apart from the other Doctors who all wear black trench coats.
You idiot! No, they don't. Oh God. Oh, go on, prong number 2 before I just lose my mind.
Okay, number 2, as
Trembling with
prophesized, we have to speak about the Doctor's wonderful relationship with the companions.
Oh, please.
All throughout season 1.
You mean season 2?
David Tennant season 1.
There we go.
Billy Triper. Billy
Triper.
Having built trust with Christopher Eccleston, Doctor, has had that trust taken away, but very quickly Billy Piper learns that it doesn't matter. This person is
Trust
here.
shouldn't go with death.
This person here, no matter what, is here to fight for the right cause. And Billy Piper, as a character with agency, unlike recent companions. Yes, I also watched that one video too.
Which one?
That one long video that no one watched.
The
and complained about, but Doctor Who fans did watch.
The 5-hour one?
Yes.
Oh, love you, JXC.
Yes. Yes. We watched that. I actually watched it twice.
I've seen it twice as well.
And then people who don't like that video didn't actually watch the video.
Yeah, true.
We have, throughout Billy Piper and David Tennant's Doctor companionship, a building trust, and more than that, a budding romance, which is built up somewhat, but not too much. It's not a heavy focus, but towards, but that build between those characters is what gives the ending of that arc some impact, because this is her life now, and this is the beautiful, glorious David Tennant, the one exception to all straight men, David Tennant.
What?
David Tennant's an exception to people being straight. You can fancy David Tennant and still be straight if you're a dude. That's a long-established rule. Don't worry about it.
Is
it's
it
the
just
bottom
David Tennant?
Just David Tennant and Keith Lee.
Yan-Key.
Yeah, fair enough. You're like, yes, the nods in agreement. That then comes along into a contrast with our Martha Jones story. Martha Jones, very quickly, is like, oh, he's a bit handsome, isn't he? And has to be rebuffed by our David Tennant Doctor, because then he's not over his ex. He's not over his ex at all. And Martha Jones is like a bit jealous of his ex.
Wow.
Like, who's this chick you're always talking about? And that adds an interesting clash between the companion and the Doctor.
Interesting.
An interesting clash, yes.
The word interesting is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
It is interesting. Do you know what's less interesting? Less logical and rational. David Tennant's first episode with the magic Christmas tree, that made sense, right? Martha Jones's first episode made no sense at all. A platoon of Jadoon on the moon.
David Tennant can't speak English properly.
That's
He
true.
cannot be the Doctor.
That's true. Yes, that's true. That's true. I like that one. It had a granny with a straw on it.
That actually makes me
Martha
feel
Jones was
queasy.
a doctor.
Still is a
She
doctor.
had a straw. She goes.
It made me feel real queasy. There's just a tiny little sound effect when the straw goes in, and I'm just like, oh, that was a mess.
Anyway, all my arguments about David Tennant being the best Doctor aren't the ones I genuinely would have picked, but it was too funny not to just use your arguments in reverse. It's like I played a Yu-Gi-Oh! Trap card.
Or an Uno.
And you know what? It probably made my argument all the weaker for it. But fundamentally, at a summary level, David Tennant's energy carries it for me. And I think it carries Doctor Who, even through bad routing. Just having David Tennant go, fantastic, which was his catchphrase, wasn't it?
That was Christopher Eccleston.
I know.
His was a lot.
I know.
You just wanted to trigger me a little bit there.
It's an energy that I like in a person. That's why I hate you, because you don't have David Tennant's energy. You just...
Oh, you want me to respond to that?
Or his mojo. Let's have David Tennant play the next Austin Powers.
Do you know
Go
what?
for it. He's got mojo. He can do it.
Do you know?
Yeah, baby.
Do you know what's good news for you?
It's a David Tennant reference.
You've just turned face on our audience, and I've just turned heel on our audience. There we go. This fan favourite.
Can I tombstone you? That
you?
would mean we hug. It may be worth it.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Great. Okay. Danny, are you ready to talk about how much better your favourite Doctor is than
Do you want to do your favourite Doctor first?
I've done my favourite Doctor.
Or your least favourite Doctor first? And then I'll do mine last. I don't mind. We should have organised this more, but hey ho.
Okay. In that case, then we should have organised this bit more. Problem is, my least favourite Doctor. It's a little bit unfair on some of the Doctors because I am not very familiar with some of the earlier Doctors.
That's fine.
There wasn't much going on with them. There wasn't much build from what I'm aware, because I have not seen a lot of classic.
No, that's fine. You can pick.
So I can only really go in Doctor Who because, just like you said, you called me a rude word. You said the wrong gender and said I've only watched it from the year 2007, and that made me cry.
Did it?
It did. I was thinking about how you said that. You said everyone who likes David Tennant is a casual and a millennial or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, when you were shouting passionately about Doctor Who, you insulted every David Tennant fan.
Good. Good.
Anyway,
who's your least favourite Doctor?
My least favourite Doctor.
You can say me.
You're not the Doctor, Dan.
Oh no, it makes me sad. But go on, who's your least favourite?
It's hard to pick, and just to be clear, we're going mainline Doctors here. We're not including the War Doctor or the Fugitive Doctor. They've not had a shot, and honestly, I don't think John Hett's ever going to get that shot.
Well, he is dead.
He is dead.
Which is a shame because what we did see was very good. He'd be up there with my favourite Doctors if I had more time with him.
Okay. My least favourite Doctor is Jodie Whittaker's.
Oh really? Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
I feel that if we're gonna do the three stools thing again,
you're not locked
we're
into
not locked into the stool.
The three-legged stool.
Well, it's more of a one-legged stool, or maybe a two-legged stool. But if you fall asleep on, you'll fall over. That's why they created one-legged stools to
shit
keep people
rocking chair.
awake. Yeah, a real shit rocking chair, and that shit rocking chair was built and marred by bad writing, and we had ourselves basically I hate to bring up that one fucking episode, but a fucking pro-corporate Doctor
the Amazon episode
that defends not the oppressed, not the people, like the Doctor kind of always has.
Yeah.
You know, really, in our modern timeline of the Doctor. Instead, we have them making excuses. We have them justifying bad behaviour by saying it's not me who did it directly, it's the Batman argument. Yeah, you didn't kill him, but you dropped him off a building. He's fucking dead. You didn't shoot the spiders. You locked them in a gas chamber. I'm not going to draw analogies to any historical figures, but you can't just gas chamber a species, even if they're evil, and claim that you're still good and you're still ethically okay. Jodie Whittaker's Doctor fucking murdered those spider people.
Yeah.
Those creatures, whatever. Even if they were animals and not clever or intelligent, maybe they were going to kill other people. My God, was it a gas chamber? It was like a vault
it was
or
like
something.
An airtight room and they're suffocated.
Yeah, that's just.
But
it would have been more humane to fucking shoot every single one of them with one of those guns. That would have been humane. That would have been a better Doctor. We're then brought down by companions. Because they don't really do anything except appear in volcanoes.
Yeah.
And I think the reason for that, and I don't know if you'll agree or disagree here, I'm not sure how much we've spoken about this, but I think the issue is too many companions.
Yeah.
They all get a bit of the story in, but then you don't really get to put much development into them. They've had development, but it was more, here's Yaz's episode, and that's your story arc, and now you're just here. Or, if you do put a lot of development into some characters, you're then missing out other characters, and we get into these awkward situations where the confrontation is the Doctor and someone else and a supplementary one episode only character having a conversation, and the companions stood in the background as awkwardly as the Cybermen and the Doctor and the Daleks were in the Power of the Doctor episode.
Oh, God.
There's Daleks in it, but they're just stood there doing nothing, because that episode wasn't about, well, the Daleks or the Cybermen. It was about the Master and the Doctor.
Yeah.
That's all that episode was about. It's their story. You can have supplementary characters, but my God, they're just stood there like lemons doing nothing. Because there's quite a few of them, no one really gets that proper development. I feel this was fine and possibly at a peak with Rory and Amy. You've got your main companion, and you've got quite a lot of Rory, enough that you could even call them a full-fledged companion.
Well,
and throughout the season, we're getting a lot of stuff about Rory, we're getting a lot of stuff about Amy. We get guest characters in,
Yeah.
but they're not always there, and they're not always stuck in the background. And that relationship between Amy and Rory is something that came up a lot when Rory's trapped in a hole for 1,000,000 years, right?
Yeah.
That's something for Amy to be anxious about. That's something to build that character.
Yeah.
And also, a contrary to the we have a male protagonist, we have a female protagonist. They need to be in love. It allows that to go aside without that needing to be a thing.
Yeah.
2's a good number. 1's a good number, as long as you're bringing in those other characters just to spice things up a bit, like a jalapeno, spicy. I don't see that with Whittaker's Doctor, because there's always just these other people there. And, oh man, we all love Bradley Walsh.
Yeah.
But
he was actually
what did he really do?
Nothing.
And I'm not now talking about specific episodes, and I'm going to include episodes I don't remember or might not have seen. What did he ever really do? That character.
Nothing really.
He took revenge on the Teeth Man by locking him in a cell or something. The Teeth Thief by locking him in a horrible cell and calling that an ethical victory.
Yeah.
I'm better. I'm not going to shoot you. I'm better than that. I'm going to lock you in a cell for eternity. Jesus fucking Christ. And you know what? Can't blame him. Did exactly what the Doctor did.
Yeah.
Actually just learnt from the Doctor.
Yeah.
Don't shoot people. Torture them for eternity.
Guns are
or
bad.
until they suffocate and die. Jesus effing Christ.
Bradley Walsh, I'll give him credit. He was fun to watch. He stole scenes just by being Bradley Walsh.
Okay.
But that's more of a testament to how good Bradley Walsh is.
Performance-wise, I was never, I don't think there was an acting issue. I don't think Jodie's a bad actor.
No.
But performance-wise, it didn't make sense as the Doctor. I felt like, and again, this is probably fucking Chibnall's fault, but I felt like there were two things going on. Exposition.
Yeah.
Well, three things. Exposition, running. The running part's okay. That's part of Doctor Who.
It's a good run.
Number 3, it's like the underpants gnomes thing. It's exposition, running, ? Profit. But instead of profit, it's just a monologue. It's just monologues.
There's nothing wrong with
Here are reasons why you why you're bad and shouldn't use guns, as she's actually strangling a seal in front of you to death during this monologue. The ice people are bad. You're hurting these seals.
There's
garrotting it. There's sea lovers.
Seals are bad.
Maybe I'm wrong. And
no, it's guns that are bad.
maybe I'm wrong about that, and maybe you could provide wonderful examples, but that none of that worked for me. None of what the Doctor was doing for me. And again, I think this is what the Doctor's doing. Let's be honest. Jodie's turning up for work in the morning and being just told to do this shit. And my goodness, Yorkshire woman on deck. I want to be happy, and I want to rep the Yorkshire fam. And we have this weird tribalism in Yorkshire. Yorkshire and proud.
Yorkshire.
I don't think you get that in a lot of other places. Lincolnshire and proud. You don't hear it. Or, I don't hear it because we don't let people from Lincolnshire in Yorkshire.
Damn right we don't. If you're from Lincolnshire,
get the fuck out. We're going to brand you.
I think...
branding people from Lincolnshire. It was literally the first county I thought of. Don't have anything against Lincolnshire.
Speak for yourself.
Literally, just the first county I thought of.
Lincolnshire's people are all inbred. They all marry their cousins.
It's discount Yorkshire. That is something I'm confident every county says about every local county. I bet you could just pick a random county in America, and they probably say that about the next county.
To be fair, in America, some of them are right.
Yeah, and know what? That's because all those counties have different accents.
Right.
There are sub-accents in Yorkshire, which must be amazing. We can travel 50 miles away and meet a distinctly different accent, which to Americans, I understand, is insane, and I love it.
And Jodie Whittaker,
yes.
I wanted to be happy for her. I wanted her to have a really good run as the Doctor, because not only is she from Yorkshire, repping Yorkshire, but she's also the first lady woman Doctor.
Not technically true,
No,
but the first
no.
real one.
The first.
I count the lady from the thing.
You don't mean the classic John Carpenter film. You mean the Rowan Atkinson Doctor Who spoof.
That would be a terrifying episode of Doctor Who. Just directed by John Carpenter.
Oh.
And it's actually just the thing, and it's...
I really hope you remember this
no.
and do an AI prompt for it.
Oh, I mean, the AI is probably really good at mangled flesh. It does that whenever there's a handshake anyway.
There was a really funny meme, and it was a clip from iRobot, and it was Will Smith saying, "Robots can't draw hands," and the robot goes, "Can you?" And then Will Smith, the next picture's Will Smith's hands under his head, but they're all like fucking mangled and drawn by.
Yeah, you know what? That'll be gone within a month.
They're the hands.
Hands are already really good. I only know from the porn I make, but AI generation, even the hands are getting good now. It knows how many fingers there should probably be. Remember when you couldn't do a leg without the leg getting in the leg, and then everything? It's a monster.
They look like from the thing.
They look like they're from the thing. Now they look like just the fingers are from the thing, and sometimes the eyes look like they've been put in after. It's spooky and scary.
Oh god, that must be hard to factor.
Eyes. No,
anyway, back to Doctor Who.
Easy. Do you have any more thoughts about my objective fact on Jodie Whittaker's Doctor being the worst portrayal?
Just personally, I didn't like her uniform. I didn't like her outfit. I thought it was just very, and also it didn't change. There was no real variation.
Not to be contrary, but I quite liked it.
Why are you being such a cunt tonight?
I like the fun little boots. I like the long jacket. It was white. It just. Even the fun little stripe, and
I realise I'm wearing her t-shirt.
You are wearing a Jodie Whittaker Doctor.
I'm literally
t-shirt.
Wearing a Doctor Who Jodie Whittaker.
It's got the stripes on it. It's like
it's the rainbow. It's the pride.
It's the pride flag for someone who's colourblind. Yeah. Like all the colours are a bit off.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably how a dog sees the pride flag. They have some less colour cones or something.
I just didn't like
dog science, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in for more dog science.
I didn't like it. But yeah, if I may do a Chibnall bad.
Please do a Chibnall bad. It's
Chibnall
tradition.
bad!
It is tradition. Chibnall bad with alternating upper and lowercase letters. Dan, allow us to move on and for you to tell me and top this episode with who you know to be objectively, factually, definitely correct to be, and it could be true.
It is true. It is true.
It is, because everything we say is fact on this show. Nestle has child slaves. Everything we say on this show actually is fact. Who is your absolute favourite, the best Doctor of all of the portrayals of the Doctor, and why is it the guy from that Invasion of the Daleks film who's just human?
Please give me a drum roll.
Okay, I'm going to genuinely have a go at this.
Peter Capaldi.
Pete? Good old Pete?
Pete Capaldi is the best Doctor Who.
Why is Pete the best Doctor?
Alright, so...
Mind if I call him Pete? I'm going to call him Pete. Why is Pete Cap? Sounds like a mushroom. Mushroom fans, tell me your favourite mushroom in the comments.
Tell us your favourite mushroom in the comments.
Pete Cap. Why is Peter Cap the best portrayal of the Doctor?
Peter Capaldi, or as I like to call him, Peter Chadpaldi.
This may be a bit of a circle jerk too, because I really like Peter Capaldi's interpretation of the Doctor.
He is fantastic. Peter Capaldi is the best Doctor because, he is.
It's like Wolverine hair, but grey.
No, Peter Capaldi, I don't need to explain anymore. If you know, you know. If you don't, go fuck yourself.
What? But I'm going to prompt you then.
I'll see you next week.
What about his suit do you like? You know what? His suit doesn't stand out, I don't think. How do you feel about his suit? I don't think it stands out.
Well, Eve, I'm so glad you mentioned Peter Capaldi's outfit. So the initial costume, the initial outfit, doesn't stand out at all. It's in
contrast to his performance, which...
Hold your horses.
Hold your horses.
So Peter Capaldi's initial costume in season 8, it sort of echoes older doctors. It's a long velvet coat with red interior.
I like that. I like the red interior.
I like the red interior as well. It
reminds me of what's inside the flesh place.
Oh dear! Oh God! Oh why?
What's inside people when you cut them?
Eve, no. We
yes.
don't. That's the murder podcast.
Like what's in beef? Oh yeah, we're not
the one we don't publish.
The one we don't publish.
The one we just listen to when we go in the basement with the neighbours.
Yes.
Anyway,
new
the
neighbours
red interior
every month.
of the velvet jacket.
Of the velvet jacket, not made of skin.
It's made to evoke John Pertwee's cloak and things of that nature. It's meant to look like a sort of stripped back to basics doctor.
Does he keep vegetables in his inside pocket?
There are no vegetables that I'm aware of.
Well, we know of, but we'll have to ask Peter good old Pete, if he kept any asparagus in there.
Any vegetation in his pocket.
Yes, and mole, anything growing on there.
And he was a very serious, very stern, very...
He was the grumpy dad.
He was very grumpy in the first sort of season.
I don't think for the bad though. I think again, this is a different personality coming to the Doctor, and this is a Doctor that ain't taking any of your shit.
Not mine specifically, but anyone's. But he sort of started to loosen up quite a lot as the seasons went on. So season 9 comes along. His uniform, his outfit's a lot more relaxed. There's hoodies. There's T-shirts, there's blue. It's
that was interesting. Relaxed. Yeah, the hood in the thing. Yeah.
It was just a hoodie under his jacket, which was very strange for a Doctor. Very, very casual. He became very casual. I feel like season 9 Peter Capaldi was like a midlife crisis Doctor in that he kind of dressed a lot more relaxed. He traded the sonic screwdriver for some sonic sunglasses, which were a bit weird, but okay, whatever.
That was fun. That was a thing.
Fun.
It was a thing to be cool. Something for cosplayers to do. Like the only reason anyone bought a Fez this century is to mimic a Doctor's outfit.
Mimic Matt Smith, yeah.
I feel like I've just culturally upset whatever culture has Fezes.
Whovians.
I'm sorry,
us
Whovians.
Doctor Who fans.
Fezes are not cool.
Oh no, you're wrong, Eve. Fezes are cool. Shut up now, before we get lynched.
Fezes, you know, the only place I know Fez is from other than Doctor Who as a serious thing was
The Mummy?
A monkey in Something War One, and number 2,
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers, the man who was very badly bent, and Will Ferrell was that?
Yeah. Number 1.
Yeah, Will Ferrell.
Was he number 1 or was he number 2?
No, he was neither, but he was. I think he was called Mustafa.
Oh, Mustafa.
I appear to have fallen and broken my leg.
Help.
And at the time, it was these were dark times. That was comedy, and comedy back then was you just quote the film that's popular, and we would just say how we were very badly bent, and that would be something we'd laugh at. We'd all gather around the fire.
Still works. Watch this, people. Get away from me, Duncan.
I'm not going to laugh. Get away from me, Duncan. Why is he pretending not to respect me? We're not going to tell you what we're quoting, because if you don't know, then fuck you.
Go fuck yourself.
Then why don't you just...
You fucking Sasquatch.
You just get in the shredder.
Get in the shredder.
Our personal home shredder.
What about my shredder?
That's a rare harmonic performance from Dan there.
It's not rare. I sing all the time.
Tell me more about...
Did she have a car?
About Pete.
Pete Capaldi.
Yeah. Justify your love of Pete. Justify why Pete's better than David.
So by season 10, Pete Capaldi's season 10, there's like a mix of sort of classic Doctor Who. There's velvet jackets, there's waistcoats, but there's also like T-shirts and hoodies and that. So, there's a nice varied mixture, or mixture if you're trying to sound posh.
Okay. I like their introduction. It was a rare pre-regeneration introduction.
And only
we saw the Doctor as a really cool tease, which is something I loved, absolutely loved. Before the regeneration into the new Doctor, a twist. Oh, all 12 Doctors here. Actually, no, there's 13.
All 13. I like
and that was like, wow, I wasn't you're expecting that after the regeneration.
Yeah.
Because we've had it 12 fucking times or whatever.
It's the
50 if you include the Rowan Atkinson special.
It's
where,
the only time that's ever happened. The only time
that was great. Yeah. You know what? By all means, do it again. Screw it. Bring in a doctor for multiple episodes before the regeneration.
Go
wild.
Give us Shooty Gatwa. Give us Shooty Gatwa now.
Book wild. Right now. I need Shooty.
Demand Shooty Gatwa. They started filming, by the way.
Excellent. What have they started filming?
I don't know. We've just seen a clackerboard and a TARDIS.
Oh.
It could mean anything.
That's alright.
They're filming Doctor Who.
That's alright. I was looking at some of my the details of some of last week's AI images. Some of them are very wonderful and all just surfing. But I was trying to have
They're
the
all
AI prompt.
Shooty Gatwa.
I was trying to have the AI prompt create new outfits for doctors, and I was specifically typing in things like Victorian attire, steampunk attire, and for a whole batch of them, you might even see I put stuff like steampunk goggles. The one thing I really liked about the Power of the Doctor was a couple of frames in which Jodie Whittaker's Doctor's wearing some big fucking steampunk goggles. That looked cool as hell.
She wore them in her first episode
really?
when she built her sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, that was awesome. I want to see more mad inventor Doctor. But I was looking at some other little subtle things in those. And just one thing that I did that was just interesting and made me think. If you know much about Batman, there was always Gotham by Gaslight, which people liked, and it was early industrial Victorian kind of era Batman. You know, before rampant technology, when we'd have gaslit lamps in streets. One of these doctors had around their arm like a gas lamp lantern,
like
but
a thing.
That also happened to kind of look like a TARDIS, and I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah, that was quite cool.
You know, can we? How would you feel about a series of Doctor Who rather than just being based in and having a companion born from our current century, just being like, let's go back a bit. Let's have a main companion be someone from a slightly earlier time.
Well, yeah, because then they could come to the modern day, and it'd be their future, and they'd be like, "Oh, Doctor, there are women wearing skirts above their knees."
Yeah. I'd want them to be intelligent and with agency, because I just have this belief that not everyone throughout history before today was a complete fucking idiot, and I think someone from early industrial era, I think they'd be able to immediately identify a tablet as a piece of technology. They'd be impressed by it. Wow, it's moving images, you can do stuff with it, it's a moving screen, very cool. But I don't think they'd be so dumbfounded they'd faint. Like a lot of interpretations of people from them times that involve technology and time travel. What an idiot. Yeah. Like they're just completely dumb or something. No, I want that to be explored, but I don't want that person to be completely dumbfounded by everything they see.
Yeah.
You know, but they'd have a different historical perspective.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
And you know what? Maybe the historical perspective might be really fucking imperialist.
Oh, God.
And because that's pretty much what England was doing back then. It was Planet England for a while.
Oh, God.
And it'd be really interesting to them to see, well, look, the world's changed. There's a lot of people, and there's a lot of people here too. I mean, don't make them pro-slavery, Jesus fucking Christ, right? You know, because that was also a time for a lot of that too. Look, we've discovered an entire continent. It's mine now. Right? That's a lot. That happened a lot. I'm not surprised that hasn't been explored much in Doctor Who, because it was a part of history that Western cultures don't like to talk about.
No.
You know all those French and Spanish colonies? Yep, colonial, but someone from that time, when that's what Britain's doing, would have a completely different perspective over what's wrong and what's right. I still think they'd think all that stuff was wrong. You don't want you can't bring a companion in that's like pro all this horrible shit. Well, but they'd have a different perspective on it, because
the Audios had a companion that was a Nazi, I think.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow, just straight up goose stepping.
I think so.
Insisting the Doctor wear more uniform clothing.
Oh my God.
Wow, interesting. I want to see more perspective.
Doctor, I got you a gift.
We've had little sort of we've had nuggets of that in episodes that have been set. 100 years back. In our giant Cyberman Kaiju episode, for example, that guy who thought he was a doctor, we had bits of that. We had people.
There was one in an episode where the doctor makes himself human at a boarding. He's a teacher at a boarding school in like the 1900s or whatever. Martha's his companion, and as she's scrubbing the floors, someone walks past and is like, "How could you tell when you've cleaned the floors?" With hands like those.
I'm glad they had the balls to express that. Really,
there's been a few like little. Yeah, and obviously there was the episode with Rosa Parks.
Yeah, just address, because it's a cultural piece of history, Doctor Who. Address the shitty parts of Britain's culture and history. Do it. Have the balls to do it. This has nothing to do with our favourite doctors, but it's what we'd like to see.
An interesting tangent.
Do you have any honourable mentions?
Whoa! I've not finished talking about. I barely started talking. I've only talked about his costume.
Here we go. Okay, so what would you like to have Peter Capaldi say to you, Dan?
I'd like him to pat me on the head and tell me everything will be all right.
Okay. We've kind of got ourselves in a little three-pronged stool kind of thing here. Tell me about Peter Capaldi's performance as a doctor. What did they bring to the role?
Peter Capaldi's performance, and Stephen Moffat's right, and I'll give him credit where it's due. When they were on point, they could reduce grown men, including myself, to literal tears. Just.
Is this a sex thing?
No. Just with the camera on Peter Capaldi while he talks, and that's impressive. Very impressive.
He has a good stage presence and confidence, doesn't he?
So much so, yeah.
He is acting.
He is with a capital A.
Acting with a capital A.
Yeah. There's so much more I could say, but I feel we're going over time. Should we do honourable mentions?
I mean, we have no schedule. It's not ITV. ITV aren't going to come along and cut pieces of this out.
But I realise that we talk a lot. And
we like to keep them at around an hour, and it's been more than 1 hour.
It's just over an hour. So we'll do honourable mentions. Who's your second favourite Doctor?
Well, I don't want to pigeonhole myself to second favourite, second worst, all this sort of stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I'd probably say if you were to put me on the spot and say second favourite, I'd agree with you, Peter Capaldi. I like Peter Capaldi. When I'm saying all this though, I'm thinking highlight any other Doctor, say Matt Smith, and it almost seems like we're bashing on Matt Smith, or it almost seems like we're bashing on Tom Baker. But would not here, because I feel that every Doctor did bring something new. I feel that that's important.
Even
Mark Hamill's Doctor was just incredible when he
Wrong
rolled that building.
Wrong universe. Wrong universe. No, I'll say something nice about David Tennant. You're right. He did bring a lot of energy to the role, and I think that's something that. The amount of energy he brought has not been. No other Doctors come close to that.
Yet. So far.
Well, David Tennant's about to come back, so.
Wow.
But 20 years older, nearly. So I don't think he's going to bring. I don't think he's going to bring the same amount of energy. It'd be impressive if he does. Now you say something nice about Jodie Whittaker.
No.
Yes. I demand it. If I say something nice about David Tennant, you say something nice about Jodie Whittaker.
Thanks for listening.
Say something nice about Jodie Whittaker, not just her lovely hair.
I'd have to think about it for so long. I think it'd be a very awkward silence.
All right. She
played really well with the Master. In all their interactions.
The thing
I liked that.
I really liked about Jodie Whittaker is that she wanted, even though the writing was against her, she wanted the Doctor to be a figure of hope. And I think in today's world, I think that's important. And
yes, because we do actually live in the dark timeline.
We live in...
You know those shows we watched when we were kids, where they'd go to a parallel universe where everyone was evil and had moustaches? The one where Flexo is from, right? We are living in that alternate universe where reality TV show people win most powerful person on the planet awards.
Wrong, Eve. We live in a worse timeline than that. We live in the one where Doctor Who's just fiction.
Where CM Punk was cancelled.
Charles Montgomery Punk.
Where we're just
tired, hurt, and sick of working with fucking children.
Oh, dear me.
The grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. We just pissed all over your water, CM Punk.
We live in the dark timeline, and Doctor Who is an escape and a piece of joy from that. So I hope you understand that our negativity towards some of this is out of love. We love Doctor Who.
I love Doctor Who.
And that's why we hate Doctor Who.
And that's why I hate David Tennant specifically. David Tennant's Doctor specifically.
Oh, this isn't actually a genuine grudge, and then this is where we flash back to you being at a crowd at an event. You're at the premiere screening of something that didn't have a premiere screening of Casanova for BBC Two, and you were going, David Tennant. You wanted him to sign something, and David Tennant spat in your face and shook someone else's hand. And ever since then, you vowed to get revenge on David Tennant by saying mean, critical things about him on the internet in a podcast of 5 people.
I'm going to approach David Tennant at a con, and I'm going to hit him with for anyone who knows what an RKO is, I'm going to hit him with a 90s RKO, which is called a diamond cutter. I'm going to shake his hand, and then he's going to turn to walk away, then boom! Diamond cutter, baby!
Or are you going to go to shake his hand, and actually, that's not his hand, and you look up, and it's Shia LaBeouf. The next Doctor, the American Doctor, is going to be Shia LaBeouf.
James Stewart.
The prophesized American Doctor. I'm sorry,
every
it's
time
someone
a bell rings,
who should not be the Doctor.
Every time a bell rings, Jimmy Stewart kills a Nazi.
Right, okay. Are you ready? We've glossed over some great Doctors. How do you feel about Sylvester McCoy?
Sylvester McCoy. I own a Sylvester McCoy umbrella. I once went to a fancy dress day at my primary school, dressed sort of as the 7th Doctor, but not quite really, because they weren't cosplay back then.
Genuine joy and nostalgia beaming in your eyes.
I had
right
a
now.
straw.
You're so excited to talk about this.
My dad found a straw hat that looked like his hat in Boyce's, and he came home real excitedly going, "Dad, look what I found!" I was like, "Yay!" I had that for years. I don't know what the hell happened to it. I'm sure one of my exes binned it or some crap like that. But yeah, for years, that stupid straw hat with a red band around the fucking the bowl or whatever the fuck you call it.
Okay.
It was my pride and joy.
Tom Baker. Tom Baker's what many people of many generations see as the classic Doctor Who.
For a long time, he was the Simpsons Doctor Who. I own a Tom Baker scarf. I had one that my mum knitted, but unfortunately lost it waiting in A&E once.
Oh, that's sad.
So unfortunately the one my mum knitted no longer exists. Or it does exist, it's just no longer in my possession. But I do own one. And I love Tom Baker as Doctor Who as well, he's fantastic.
And again, let's just round out the contemporary Doctors there. Feelings on Eccleston?
I loved him, but I feel like he didn't love me back.
Oh.
And that leather jacket was cool. It was a very unorthodox for the Doctor.
It was a new Doctor for a new generation. Look how cool he is. With
people might say how
everyone has flip cell phones.
People might say, "Oh, Dan, how can you like Christopher Eccleston but not like David Tennant?" There was thought behind Eccleston's leather jacket. It was a very much I don't want to be touched. It was like a physical barrier between him and the world, whereas David Tennant's was just a soot.
Beautiful, sexy banker. Okay, and Matt Smith?
Yeah, wonderful. Genuinely, to me, he was the first Doctor. He was the first person where I looked at them and thought, yeah, he's a weirdo.
Yeah. So Matt Smith was...
and his outfits were great.
Smith, me seeing Matt Smith as the Doctor was the first time me seeing Matt Smith.
Same.
To me, that person is that person. Now, of course, they're they're in the Game of Thronesy things.
Morbius.
They're Morbius. They're a bad guy in the show about a bad guy, Morbius. They're Morbius. Morbius's evil twin brother.
Morbius,
kind of not too far off there, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, he's kind of like a brother or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Morbius.
So he's Morbius.
Morbius. It's Bobbin time.
That was his catchphrase. It's Bobbin time, and then Morbius would go, "It's Bobbin time." Jared Leto would be very upset. Who's this British guy?
Matt Smith's got huge hands as well. I reckon he could just backhand Jared Leto, and that'd be it. That'd be game. That'd be game.
You know what he'd do? That thing you do to cats that angers them, where you get your hand out like a claw, and you put it in the cat's face, and the cat, for some reason, any cat do that. Get your claw out, and a cat will be intimidated by that. Matt Smith can do that.
No, he don't. He gets it out.
And you'll look at him, and you'll get really angry looking at his hand.
Matt Smith could transform his arm into a trebuchet. He just keeps hoying apples at fucking Jared.
And the big
Jared Leto just chasing him around the room with like a semi-bionic arm. Just specifically apples. And Jared Leto's like, "Go, get away. Matt Smith's just like, nerd.
I'm sorry we had to end on this insanity. But now we must end that and round it out by talking about who we actually think is the best Doctor, Paul McGann. Yeah, this whole time it was a bit.
It was a fucking ruse.
The real best Doctor was fucking
Paul McGann. You got rused, bitches.
We do not get enough Paul McGann. He has the sexy voice.
I don't even like any of the Doctor Who's.
Yeah, we're just here to watch that one.
I watch Doctor Who on a weekly basis to hope that Paul McGann makes a cameo.
We're gonna watch. People who fell asleep watching this just woke up. We're probably gonna do a talk
woke up to
over.
me and you yelling Paul McGann.
Paul McGann was watching it. He was having a lovely dream.
He was a shit guest though.
Oh man, sorry, Paul.
I haven't yelled.
You were a bad guest, but you were a great Doctor. You had the sexy voice. His suit, it was very like. It was British, wasn't it? It was closer to an Austin Powers suit than it was really.
Can I just say, I've not yelled Paul McGann's name with so much force and enthusiasm since the last time I had sex.
Wow. Excellent. Was Paul McGann there?
No, in my mind.
Really, really awkward.
I hope my girlfriend is.
Okay. And on that, with Paul McGann being the best Doctor...
Objectively.
Have some art of Paul McGann...
making love to Dan.
Wrestling a swan. Again. Here he is wrestling a swan.
Choking out a nun.
Thanks, everyone. Dan, closing words?
Don't like David Tennant anymore. Stop liking David Tennant. Paul McGann's the one true Doctor.
Paul McGann.
David Tennant is shit. He's garbage. He's garbage.
Hey.
Paul McGann's the one true Doctor.
Dan, can your podcast do this?